How does the world's loudest applause turn into silence? It didn't happen overnight. It never does. Decline is quiet. Isolation is quieter. From the outside, Elvis Presley was still everywhere. Posters, television, sold-out shows. But inside, the distance was growing. Slowly, relentlessly. The crowds kept cheering. The rooms got emptier. Graceland became both a palace and a prison. Gates closed, lights dimmed. The outside world felt overwhelming. The inside world felt safe. At first, Elvis spent more time alone. Not because he wanted to be distant, but because distance felt easier. Fame had taken everything else. Privacy, normality, trust. So isolation became a form of rest. But rest turned into withdrawal. Friends noticed changes. Longer nights, shorter conversations. Energy came and went in waves. Some days Elvis was sharp, funny, present. Other days he disappeared without leaving the room. The schedule still ruled everything. Shows were planned, flights booked. But preparation became harder. The mirror reflected someone unfamiliar. Weight fluctuations, tired eyes. The body carried years of pressure, and it was asking for mercy. Elvis listened, but only halfway. Canceling felt like failure. Slowing down felt like surrender. So he pushed forward. Again and again. Isolation deepened. The inner circle grew smaller. Only those who wouldn't question stayed. Concern was seen as threat. Advice as criticism. Elvis needed comfort, not confrontation. Loneliness doesn't always look lonely. Sometimes it looks crowded. People were around him constantly, but connection was missing. Real conversation was rare. Everyone wanted something. A story, a favor, a moment. Very few asked how he was, and fewer waited for the answer. Elvis trusted less. The world had taken too much already. He retreated into routine. Late nights, private movies, music playing in the background. Time lost its structure. Days blurred together. Night became morning, morning became night. The isolation protected him from the noise, but it also trapped him with his thoughts. Regret surfaced. Missed chances, unmade choices. What could have been different? Those questions didn't need answers. They just needed silence. Health issues became harder to ignore. Breathing problems, pain, exhaustion. The body no longer bounced back. Recovery took longer. Sometimes it never fully came. Doctors came and went. Advice was given, routines suggested. But change required energy. And energy was running low. Elvis still performed. On stage, something magical happened. For a moment, the isolation lifted. The voice returned. The presence filled the room. Fans saw flashes of the old fire, and those flashes kept hope alive. But the cost was heavy. Each performance took more than it gave back. After the applause faded, the silence felt louder. Backstage rooms felt colder. Hotel corridors felt longer. The isolation followed him everywhere. Trust became fragile. Who was there for Elvis? And who was there for Elvis Presley? The line was impossible to see. So he kept the world at a distance. Safer that way. But safety came with loneliness. Phone calls went unanswered, messages delayed. Old friends drifted away. Not out of anger, but out of uncertainty. No one knew how to reach him anymore. The decline wasn't dramatic.
It was gradual. A little less movement, a little less spark. The man was still there, but the weight was visible. Photos told the story. Not the headlines, the details. Posture, expression, stillness. Isolation had a physical shape. Elvis knew something was wrong. He spoke about it quietly. In private moments, late-night conversations. I'm tired. I don't feel right. But the machine didn't stop. There were commitments, expectations. The world had learned to take from Elvis, and it hadn't learned how to give back. The isolation became complete. Graceland felt empty even when full. Music still played, but it echoed. Elvis was surrounded and alone. Decline doesn't ask permission. It arrives slowly, then stays, and isolation makes it stronger. The tragedy wasn't losing fame. It was losing connection. To people, to purpose, to himself. Yet even in decline, there was dignity. Elvis never stopped caring about the audience, never stopped trying. That effort mattered. But effort alone couldn't reverse time. The world watched the legend. Very few saw the man. As this chapter closed, one truth became clear. Isolation doesn't end a life. It weakens it. And Elvis was standing at the edge of something irreversible. The silence was getting heavier, and the final chapters were no longer far away. The question was no longer if, it was how much time was left, and the answer was approaching quietly.